Oh, welcome back. Vicksburg Gator football coming up here in just a matter of moments as Vicksburg takes on Forest Hill, and the Gators get their first district win last week and looking for 2 in a row. Charles Edmond here, TJ Mayfield. He'll be joining me in a few moments. We're here with Gator coach Todd McDaniel. Coach finally got a victory, and it's always a good feeling when you win a game, especially your first district game.
No doubt about that. To go out and play the way we did in the second half, I was really pleased. I wasn't so pleased about the first half. I thought we were kind of flat. But when you're playing two teams, weeks 1 and weeks 2, that was really, really good, and you exerted a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, and the way both of those games ended at the end of the game on the last play, our last offensive play, had the opportunity to win those games, and then you go into week 3 and go in the district. You understand deep down inside that game is more important than any one of those, but we came out a little flat. I think we turned it on in the second half.
Were you worried about going into the game last week? Were you worried about a carryover? They say don't let a loss beat you twice, but don't let 2 losses beat you 3 times. Were you kind of worried about that carryover effect, considering how tough the previous 2 games were?
Oh, of course. As a head football coach, you worry about it all, So, but I will say that they had a great week of practice. We just didn't move as fast as I thought we would have. We made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes, but we were still to put it off in the end, So I was just happy about the way we came out and played the second half, and they knew it. We were very disappointed. I told them I was disappointed in them at halftime, and they came out in the second half and they really played well.
Who did play well? Special teams, man. Special teams. You had a kicker, 5 of 6 on PATs. Bobby Taylor. I mean, we were wondering how would the PAT operation look, and man, was that question answered right quick.
Right. So I was just happy for us to go out there and let Bobby get some confidence. I told you at the beginning of the year we had 2 snappers, 2 field goal kickers, and now we have 3 field goal kickers. So DeMarcus Johnson did a great job of kicking off and also kicking PATs yesterday in practice, so because we just trying to prepare for the worst, so by Bobby coming out and gaining confidence, and as you can see, the more he kicked, the stronger his leg got, so I was just happy to see that, no more 7-6 games.
No more going for 2 every time.
No more going for 2 every time.
Yeah, so just talk about the operation in terms of determining how Taylor got that assignment. Was that something you had to process? Was it during the week of practice? You said you had a bunch of long snappers, you had a bunch of holders, you had a bunch of kickers. So how were you able to process that and make the determination that Taylor was the guy?
Well, good feeling and watching him kick in practice. The last week he told me he was kind of a little afraid because it was a big environment, a great atmosphere, and normally he would hit him right down the middle, but it didn't work out for us against Warren Central, but he told me going on the field, he said, Coach, I got it now, Coach. And so, he went in, he did a great job,
He told you that he wasn't going to miss.
He told me he was not going to miss, and look, got 6 out of 7, that's not bad, or 5 out of 6, whatever the case, it was not bad.
Yeah, we were kind of worried because when we were watching the kicks, like, did it go over the goalpost? Did it go over the crossbar? They were low, but it doesn't matter as long as you get that right there.
Right, and he hit a beautiful one at the end of the game. It was like, okay, we can really see his confidence improving.
So now you've got that down now, it appears. So is it just continuing to work with them and just kind of hone and develop his craft a little bit?
They're going to only get better and better. Him and DeMarcus, they're going to get better and better every week, So I can imagine week 7, week 8, it won't even be, people are excited about him making it, but they're going to expect him to make it as the year goes on.
Speaking of exciting, Johnny Smith had 121 yards, Coach, 41 yards rushing. three receptions for 80 yards, so 121 total yards. A good all-around game from him.
It really was. He did a great job of being the kind of wing back that we want. One is going to get tough yards, and also we asked a lot of those guys. One's going to get tough yards, and one's going to be able to get out there and catch the football. So our wing backs are pretty much our best athletes on the field. Our fullback is our toughest. So we asked those guys to block. We asked those guys to catch the football of the seam or whatever the case may be, and you can kind of see those guys improving and coming to their own.
So compare and contrast the two backs. You got Malik Montgomery, who to me seems like the power guy. You got Johnny Smith, who gets more of the jet sweeps out there on the edge. Compare those two guys, as well as Knight. Compare those three in terms of their styles and what they like to do in the wing team.
Well, Johnny is a really, really good receiver, but he can run the ball also, so he's a very talented kid. So is Montgomery. Montgomery is a bigger, more sturdier guy, but he can do all the same things. I was just telling him yesterday, we expect our fullback to be the toughest person on the field. He's about 210 pounds, so sometimes there's not going to be a hole there. You got to make one, so he's that type of guy. Knight, the Corey, he can pretty much do it all also. So he has great hands, great athlete. He really has great vision when he's running the football. So they all have slightly different styles, but by having all three of them in the backfield together, is a great combination. Also, Alex Jefferson, you'll see a little bit more of him tonight, so because he's kind of been on the shelf, so we got him back, and he has made some beautiful runs in practice. I have some cuts that I didn't think he could make, and he can, I'm just saying, hopefully we can see the same thing tonight.
Yeah, I like Jefferson in terms of what he brings. He just brings a little bit different dynamic, and when you're running this wing T, it appears if you have different backs that can do different things, kind of different wiggles, different twists, different things, that just adds to the dynamic of the offense.
Most definitely, all of them bring a different type of flavor. We even spread it out yesterday, and Coach, this is the spread. No, it's not. It's the wing, baby. It's just, but it's the same. We don't have to change anything. Just change the formation. And all those guys bring a different aspect to the game. The Corey is very smooth. Johnny can be rough and rugged, but he can be smooth also. And when you hand the ball off to Malik, when he really hits the hole, he's hard to tackle, And Alex has a little bit of it all, but he's a tough kid also. So, he will be splitting time at fullback with Malik also. So, we have a good problem. And we have the emergence of young Mitch Minor coming through, he's going to be really good, and all those are young guys, all those guys are returning next year. So, people think we're not that old offensively. We still in the middle range, but we have some young backs coming behind them, and as soon as we get Cedric Blackmore even more healthy, he's a big physical guy. So, we can really, make some noise.
Minor got a bunch of carries late in the game, and I know you like to get him more involved.
Most definitely. We I tell them all the time, if a ninth grader can come out here and start, he's going to start. So why hold that talent on the bench? Waiting. No, let's get him out there and because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Let's get him some reps. Let him get high school varsity game ready. So be able to get that young man out there and do some of the things that he did on Friday. You can see the speed, you can see the toughness, but you can also see a little greenness, So once he figures out how to get behind his shoulder pads and sometimes make a hole when one is not there, or being able to outrun or being able to use his agility, he's going to be a great running back, and he's also the second string quarterback.
With you installing this wing T and the veterans that you have, and Ronnie Alexander getting the keys to this thing from the beginning till now, and all the pieces that you have, what percentage would you say that this team has of the wing T? I mean, the playbook might be 1,000 pages or 100 pages, whatever it is. What percentage would you say that right now that this team has in terms of the wing T playbook? Do they have it all, or is there still a lot more left?
It's always a lot more left,
yeah.
But we definitely have the foundation down. Definitely have the foundation down. We're flirting with other formations. We're going to be able to expose people with different formations, different personnel groupings, So as far as the basis of the wing tee is down to 20, 30, 40 series, we have that. So now we're constantly going in, adding wrinkles, putting things in that defenses have not seen before. You saw one little play last week with Malik on a 3rd and long. He almost got the first down. It was like a 3rd and 20, but he got 18, 19 yards. So, but we got to continue to work on it and being able to get out there and run a triple option. You haven't seen that. You haven't seen us pitch the ball. You hadn't seen us do it out of shotgun. And so it's some things that we still have. A lot of things we have on the shelf. We just have not put it out there yet. You can see the passing game starting to roll a little bit because we weren't down in the down and distance count, And Ronnie came out there and threw 3 touchdowns. He played phenomenal, So we're going to force people to bag up and play us honest.
Yeah. Speaking of Ronnie Alexander, and I was just going to ask the next question about moving the pocket a little bit. He seems to be a little bit more comfortable. I know you talked at the beginning of the season about more passing attempts. And now you're seeing the pocket moving a little bit more. Right. Talk about that aspect of his game, trying to improve upon it, because you can run the football. But then if you can move the pocket a little bit and move Ronnie a little bit, and he can throw the ball on the run and that sort of thing, that adds to the dynamic of it.
Right, Ronnie has a beautiful ball. And by us having Kadarius Sims and Ty Henderson, those guys are phenomenal on the perimeter. So as you can see, we tried to stretch the field a little bit Friday, and we're going to continue to stretch it. We're going to give those guys some shots. Our defense is good enough, is one of the best defenses in the state of Mississippi. So if we go out there and decide to throw the ball 4 or 5 times in a row, we're not going to be worried about anybody just driving the ball back down our throat and making us pay for it, So we're going to take them some shots. I said that, and I said it. Now you can start seeing it. We're going to take some shots. We're going to stretch the field. We're going to get some easy points.
The last couple of games, you start out throwing the football, man. For all the hope of getting the running game going, you really want to kind of suck it in and kind of stretch the field early. How does that loosen things up, knowing teams know, okay, Vicksburg's going to run the wing tee, and then you come out throwing the ball?
Well, that's just going to be something that we're going to do. It's a process just like everything else. So it was a process of we couldn't get a first down at one time running the football. Now we know we can run the football. So now let's get game reps of throwing the football. It's a process. By the end of the year, and knock on wood, let's pray nothing happens to any of our kids getting injured. But we're going to be a great passing team also.
Defensively, I thought the defense really bowed up a little bit. What were some of the challenges as you saw that Canton provided for you offensively? Even though defensively you're able to do what you wanted, but what were some of the things you were concerned about there with Canton as far as their offense?
Had some great receivers. They were hard to tackle. They got loose from us a few times on Friday. And had a great quarterback and delivered the football too. So we're going into a stretch where we're going to see some good receivers and good quarterbacks every week. So we tell our secondary, don't fall asleep. Because they're going to try us. I tell them all the time, don't be the next highlight on Twitter. So they can't wait to put you on Twitter. You're the #1 free safety in the state, but they want to tap you on the top of your head also. So you're going to be on highlights Friday and Saturday morning. So stay awake. Don't fall asleep back there, because our defense, I don't think people understand. Our front 8 is really good because they see so many offensive game plans throughout the course of the week. We're going to run the trap, we're going to run the option, we're going to run the counters, we're going to run the jet, we're going to outside zone, bellies. So when they see a team come out there in 4 wide or 3 wide on Friday night with 1 back and 1 quarterback, that's easy. I can see that. The window is really wide open. I can see everything that's going on. And the way we practice very physical.
Yeah.
So when you see the wing tee on Friday, and then you just come on the inside zone and a jet, it's gonna make matters really tough on you.
Speaking of tough, as easy as it's been, and it was Friday night to a certain extent, it's still the one nagging thing is penalties.
Right.
It's still a topic of conversation. It's still a drive killer, and Is it safe to say that with this wing T, when you're behind the chains, as productive as it is, it makes it really tough?
It makes it hard. But guess what? With any offense, it's hard.
Yeah.
There's no place for 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20. You know, it's just hard to overcome that. You know, but still in all though, every team has its challenges, and this is one of ours. And I had an old coach used to say, "Hey, that's why they call you COACH." Coach, get it together, you know. So we have had a really good week of penalties, of non-penalties this week, because we've had to do some extracurricular things after practice to get us a little bit more focused on what we're doing, you know. So hopefully it pays off, and it doesn't pay off, we'll continue those extracurricular activities until we realize that we're going to go on the cadence.
Is it a matter of focus on a lot of these penalties, holding and all that?
Well, now I will be honest with you. You know, I have seen my share of phantom calls since I've been here. They were right Friday. They were right Friday. I'm gonna be honest about that. They were the holding call was there. The jumping offside, legal motions. They did that.
Yeah, and so I guess just the rhythm and just being honed in on what you have to do.
Got to be focused, and sometimes I forget these are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids, so their focus is not going to be the way your focus is, but we have to do things to make sure that their focus stays intact.
Well, the focus tonight is obviously Forest Hill. As you look at this team played in the red carpet, so you got a chance to look at them a few weeks ago. You look at what they've done. They lost to Neshoba 51-0. They lost 42-18 to South Jones, and of course 48-6 to Warren Central. What concerns you about this team?
Well, big talented receivers on the perimeter. They did real good against South Jones. They've made some plays they hadn't been able to stick the ball in the end zone like I thought they could have watching film. I think they have a young football team, you know, so we just got to go out there and be ourselves. We got to go out there and attack them and make sure that when we line up, that from the first play that they're going to know that they're not going to win this football game. So that's our whole focus. They had a few issues, internal issues that I know about, but still neither here nor there. No one felt sorry for us.
Yeah. And you get a chance to hit the road for the first. Man, I don't know what to do with myself. I was so comfortable being at home and at Viking Stadium and not having to leave town, and now all of a sudden we got a couple in a row here.
Well, you know, we sit down, we watch a few movies on Fridays or whatever the case may be. Now we're going to cut those movies short and get on the road, and they could help us with a little focus on that 45-minute bus ride, take a nap, you know, and get there and let's play some football.
Yeah. You had talked about Blackmore. How is his progress coming?
He's coming along just fine. He's scheduled for surgery, so he may be out for the remainder of this year. So, but still in all, though, we're going to continue to pray for him, and he's there every single day. You can see it in his eyes. You can see kind of, you know, we call it a trap or whatever, and he knows that's his play. You know, and you can kind of see his eyes get a little watery, and I totally feel him. I totally understand. I feel his pain.
When you look at what he's done, I mean, just the fact that his short yardage and the ground and pound that he brings, just think if you had that in a short yardage situations where, you know, even against Warren Central, if you had that, you know, had that dynamic, because no one has really been able to slow him down. When you put the football in his belly, he can get you those tough, gritty, gutsy yards.
He is missed. He's one of those guys I hadn't seen one person bring him down. Even against our defense in practice, I haven't seen one person bring him down.
Yeah.
He has a different attitude when he's a violent runner.
Violent.
Very violent. And it's just hard to stand in front of that. You know, it's just so happened a fluke accident of him running against the air. The air took him down. Wow.
Yeah. How important is this game, Coach, knowing, you know, you got one, now you got a couple on the road, you got a Thursday night, you got a short turnaround after this one, you got to come right back on this field next Thursday night. I know it's one at a time, but now I got these road games and they're coming fast and furious here.
Well, I will say this, we had probably the second toughest non-conference schedule that a 5A team had to face this year. Not Starkville. West Point had the first by playing Louisville and Starkville. By us starting out with Germantown and Warren Central, now they have them ranked pretty high, you know. So we're in 5A football now, and it's time to start a streak.
Yeah. Streak starts with the first one. You got the first one. What's the key to winning your second in a row?
Fundamentally sound football, not turning over the football, making great tackles, making precise blocks, and executing.
We'll see what happens. That's Vicksburg Gator football coming up here in just a matter of moments. Coach, let's go get them.
Go Gators.
We'll take this time out here. Dr. Davis will join us at halftime to talk about the good things at Vicksburg High School. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with the kickoff after this.